Hey guys, I'm back with a new guide on how to solo BAMs as a warrior. Now for starters, unlike some classes on TERA, the warrior can move while using skills. This is very important when it comes to fighting BAMs because it'll allow you to dodge the BAM's attack. The warrior's kit revolves around standing behind the target and dealing a massive amount of damage. There are multiple ways that you can go behind the target. The first is simply walking up and behind the BAM and then attacking them. The second way is to tag them with your combo attack and then use backstab and then continue on with your combo. The most efficient way that I feel for a warrior is to use backstab immediately. What you have to do is you face the target and then you use backstab and then you hit them with your combo and then they should drop dead extremely quickly. Now, there are multiple rotations that you can use to take down a BAM. You can go backstab, combative strike, traverse cut into blade draw, and then using rising fury back into blade draw if blade draw resets the first time. However, if the BAM doesn't stay still long enough, what you can do is you backstab, combative strike, traverse cut into blade draw, and then you use evasive roll to dodge the attack, and then using rising fury into blade draw if blade draw resets the first time. Now, if you're like me and you don't want to use backstab in the first rotation because you want to save it for the big attack, you can use pounds into traverse cut into blade draw, and then rising fury into blade draw if it resets the first time, and you would evasive roll and dodge the BAM's attack, and then you would use your combative strike into rain of blows. Now, this combo doesn't do as much damage because you are not using combative strike in the beginning, so the target still has their armor instead of losing their percentage armor due to combative strike. But I feel like this is the safer route because you do have the option to dodge and use backstab back in if you want to finish or continue a different rotation. Now, your main DPS skill is blade draw because it can reset and be used after multiple skills such as traverse cut, rising fury, and vortex slash. If you find yourself trying to finish a combo and then the BAM is in the middle of its attack animation, you should always dodge it. Never ever finish that combo. I've learned this the hard way. It is better to use your skills such as smoke aggressor, death from above, evasive roll, or charging slash to get out of the way rather than into or finishing up your combo, because a warrior is not that tanky. A neat little trick or tip on smoke aggressor that most people don't know is that since the skill uses 20% of your current HP, it is best to use it when you're really low in HP because then it'll cost less. So say you have 60k HP and then you got hit down to say 30k HP, so that's half. Now when you use smoke aggressor, 20% of 30k is 6,000, so you'll be using 6,000 HP to cast it. However, if you waited until you're at 10k HP to use the spell, then that means you're only using 2k HP to cast it instead of 6k. Now see, the difference between 6k and 2k is quite a lot, and it's very important to know when and how to use smoke aggressor correctly so that you won't die. As for glyphs, I use decrease cooldown for pounds, backstab, and death from above. Decrease cooldown on pounds is so then I can gap close between me and the BAM. Backstab, I need to constantly go behind the target, so I want backstab to constantly come back up so I can go behind the target and crit them some more. As for Death from Above, I really need to be able to dodge some attacks that I cannot dodge otherwise with my evasive roll or any other spells because it skips a frame. Now for my main DPS skill, Blade Draw, I only have the increased damage and the 50% to reset cooldown. It's pretty self-explanatory. I use decreased cost for evasive roll and combative strike. The reason for these two skills is because evasive roll costs 500 RE. It's a little blue thing under your MP bar, and you only have 1200 max, so you can only roll twice. But with the glyph, you can roll 3 times because it only costs 400 per use instead of 500. As for combative strike cost goes up as you level it up. So you'll be losing a lot of health later on if you do not have this glyph, because the glyph decreases 50% HP consumption per use. As for Rain of Blows, the second DPS skill that we have, I use increased damage and restore HP glyph. Even though it's 0.5%, you'll find that it comes in handy later on when you can constantly spam it. And last but not least, I use the increased MP regeneration glyph for the combo attack. Very self-explanatory there. And lastly, we have the crystals. In the armor crystal slots, I strictly use 4 times Anarchic because it is the best thing to use against spams. I cannot stress this enough. Having 4 flat % damage reduction from boss monsters will allow you to take an extra 1 or 2 hits. Because nothing else really works in the armor slots. If you're against spams, they just crit you like a truck. As for the weapon slots, I use Focus, Savage, Forceful, and Acriminous. The reason I use these 4 instead of just straight up 4 times Mutinous is because Mutinous only gives you a flat % damage. Sure, it gives you a higher damage when you are doing normal damage, but when you crit, that's when it matters. And these 4 crystals that I use will capitalize on our ability to crit a lot and crit hard, because warriors crit like a monster, similar to our Slayer. It takes time to kill BAMs efficiently, but practice will definitely get you where you want to be. I mean, I've died like countless times soloing BAMs, but I still go at it. I think that shit is fun. So don't give up on the class, even though it is a bit harder to play than the other class. Just strive to get better. And again, if you guys have any questions, comments, or suggestions, please feel free to leave a comment down in the comment section below, and I'll try to get to it as soon as possible. And thanks for watching again, guys. See you next time.